Hi everyone, we are here at the Nova Open. Here we go, some tournament halls, there's all the Dropzone tables. It's Friday, so it's before the tournament. There's a couple of us here who are just here early, getting some games in. This is Gary. You may know him from his blog, Fayette212, might have heard of it before. He'll be in the Dropzone tournament this year. We are playing a modified version of Intel. We're just play testing this out for Simon, seeing if it works or not. So normal Intel mission, you have these Intel pieces. If you start your turn inside one of the buildings, you can search for the Intel. On a 2 through 5, you get the Intel, which counts as 1 point. On a 6, it becomes an objective. So if you end the game with it 1 point, if it's off the board, 2 points. And if you roll a 1, it turns into a bomb and it blows up and it damages you. So the variation, 2 through 5, still the same, 1 point. On a 1, it's still a bomb, but the profile has changed a little bit, and you still do get 1 point, even if you set the bomb off. And then on a 6, the Intel turns into a focal point with the normal focal point rules. You don't get a piece of Intel. Focal points stay in one place. If you have a unit within 6 inches of it at the end of the game, you get a point. If you also have more units than anybody else, ground units, you get 1 additional point. That's pretty much it. We'll be back in a sec with the army lists. Alright, this is my 1500 point resistance list, similar to one I've run before in the battle reports. I have a drill, Thunderstorm Custom with the level 3 commander, infantry group with 3 squads of resistance fighters in Jacksons inside a lift hawk, no AA, armored group with 24 rocket tacticals in a Leviathan with the AA upgrade, armor group of 3 gun wagons in a Kraken, heavy group of 2 Zhukovs in a lift hawk with the AA upgrade, and a scout group which has 2 bases of free riders in a squad, and then a squad with 2 battle buses with 2 units of berserkers each.
Alright, for Scourge, 1500 points, we have a small Scourge troop unit, warriors, just for grabbing objectives, and large command right here with the Oppressor, an Annihilator, and a couple of the new vampires to hang on as they fly in. Full size standard Scourge warrior squad, warrior battle group, followed by 2 spider bot standard groups, stalkers, ravagers, with harbingers. All the harbingers obviously have the AA upgrade, so knock out some AA.
Great, start of turn 1, Gary won the roll-off for initiative and made me go first, and we have both played underground monorails, one there, and my drill did not come out of reserve. Alright, I activated my heavy group with the Zhukovs, and I moved them up to right here.
Activated my first armored group here, brought forward my stalkers, they're still loaded, and dropped off some AA Ravagers right up the center.
Alright, activated my armor group and just moved my gun wagons up 10 inches.
Activated my second armored group, mirroring the first with the stalkers up front and deploying the AA Ravagers.
Alright, I moved up the Thunderstorm Custom, my command unit, and 10 inches right there.
Landed the Annihilator. I'm getting the Annihilator ready for a 24-inch denial zone, and brought up the command, which also has a pair of vampires on it, and that's it.
Alright, I deployed my armor group, and my Leviathan moved on 10 inches. There it is.
It was time to deploy the troops, bringing them up in a Marauder and splitting between 2 buildings with their APCs to get intel next round.
Alright, I activated my scout group. The berserker buses came on in this corner, and the buses got out, and the berserkers all got into this building, and the free riders are subterranean, so they're not doing anything.
Last deployment, small warrior squad to get into another intel piece with a light transport.
Alright, I activated my infantry group, moved them 8 inches on, took out 1 squad, and put them into this building. Alright, start of turn 2. Gary won the initiative again. Nobody played any cards, and the drill came out. It's over there, scattered just a bit, way back in his corner.
I advanced my standard force forward, took my stalkers, threw them into a probably bad aggressive position, and followed them up with my Ravagers by picking them up and moving them again to get them out of the way of his command.
Alright, activated my heavy group right here with Zhukovs, and they unloaded, and they're there.
So who's the aliens in? sometimes that's the best way.
All right, activated my command. That included dropping off the oppressor and moving it over into an aggressive stance over here, and taking the Harbinger, taking a pop shot here, and taking the new vampires just to kind of throw them out and see what they do out in the middle of the fray. The purpose was to fire the Annihilator at the two Zukov on the odd chance I could take out both in a single shot, which did not happen. Did no damage and scattered to the building.
All right, activated my infantry group. Infantry here searched for the intel, just regular intel, so we flipped it over, showed that that's been searched once. They got back into their Jackson, got picked up by the Lift Hawk. Lift Hawk went over here, dropped off the other two Jacksons. They're now behind the building, and I have 4 resistance fighters in the center building.
All right, I moved the Harbinger up, dropped the second round of, look at that, I put a guy backwards. That does not look good on video. Another squad of my, I can't even think of the name.
Stalkers.
My stalkers up here, just to play with the guys over there, and redeployed my Harbingers over on this side, and that was pretty much it.
I shot some buildings, did a little damage there.
I did bomb the building.
That's about it. Activated my scout battle group. The Berserkers in here rolled a 6, so this is now a focal point, and I don't get an intel. The Berserkers used the monorail to get into the center building. The buses got back on the Kraken, moved forward 5 inches. And then from the drill over there, the bikers, the free riders, got out of the drill and got into that building.
I activated my small infantry group, discovered a piece of intel, it was a victory point.
And I played an improvised trap card because I had command radius from my free riders, and so I killed 2 guys with that.
Yeah, it was a cheesy card.
Whatever. Command radius, it's pretty limited.
I'm kidding. And anyway, then they jumped out of here and into this building with his free riders.
Cool. All right, so I activated my command group. I was really trying to hit these stalkers here, so I decided to move 6 inches instead of 10. Move the 6 up here, just about a ½ inch out of range from hitting that lead stalker. So I misjudged, and I'm stuck moving 6 inches, so mistake on my part.
All right, so basically I took the infantry out of this building. They found a piece of intel, followed the monorail over to this building.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little surprised, but
The warriors that were in here got loaded back up onto their Marauder, and that was it.
All right, so I activated my Leviathan. I offloaded 1 squad only because I'm worried about the amount of damage he's going to do with his Annihilator. All 12 were in range, so I split them 6 and 6. 6 on one stalker, 6 on the other stalker. Killed both stalkers. And then the AA guns fired at that Harbinger right there and did 2 points of damage. Alright, I activated my gun wagons. The gun wagons disembarked out backwards so they have some shielding from line of sight. They fired upwards at the Harbinger, did 1 more point of damage, and then the whole mounted gun on the Kraken shot the stalker and hit it but couldn't kill it. Start of turn 3, I thought I had won the initiative roll-off, but Gary played a Central HQ directive, and he won the reroll, so he's won it again. I played an underground monorail between these 2 buildings, so my Berserkers are just monorailing across the board. And you played, I think that was it, just the Central HQ directive.
Yep.
All right.
All right, activated my command. Obviously, I dropped the Annihilator onto the trucks of the technicals and killed 6 of them, I believe.
Yep.
The commander turned and shot the building.
Did 10 damage, 9 damage to it.
9 damage to it, and the Harbinger did another 4.
Yep, and you can see the casualties there.
And then they shot AA, and the vampires attacked.
APC, this is the
Vampires didn't really do anything, and the Harbinger did 1 damage.
1 damage, yeah.
All right, activated my command group. So when I activated it last time, I thought it had a 12-inch range. Actually, it has an 18-inch range. Don't know my own army. So anyway, I just counted it as not having shot last time. That's my mistake. But in any case, moved it up here. It's now well within range, but unfortunately, I could only hit 1 stalker. So shot 2 guns at the stalker, blew it away. 2 guns at the building, did 4 damage. Got no falling masonry.
All right, we activated my standard group, my armored group. First up, my stalkers came in. Tried to unload here, even with a card to reroll.
Yep, used aggression. Yep.
And
rolled really badly.
Still only did 1 damage to it.
So he has 8 damage points left on that hovercraft.
In the meantime, the Harbinger obviously bombed the building. Then I activated what were Ravagers here. They decided to jump on the building and start clawing it and shoot it, along with bombing it with their transport. And that took out the building.
They rolled a little better than expected.
They took out the building, and the guys that were inside.
So all my infantry are dead.
All my Ravagers died.
Yep, and I lost a Zukov and two
died.
Jacksons,
And two
and that
Jacksons.
Zukov was just far enough away. It wasn't quite within an inch.
So a lot died.
Yeah. It was,
ahead of the fun.
all right, so another really bloody activation. I activated my Leviathan. These technicals moved up. The Leviathan came around the corner here, unloaded everybody. The way they were set up, I ended up with 6 on this stalker, 6 on this stalker, 6 on the oppressor. Killed that stalker, killed that stalker, did 1 damage to the oppressor. Then the Leviathan, in its wisdom, fired at the Harbinger that was there, blew it up, forgetting that I had just parked a bunch of technicals under it, and it rolled a crash landing, and then crashed and killed 4 technicals with it. So, what a really, really bloody turn, back to back.
I activated my armored group. The Ravagers all fired at a lift hawk that was here, trying to drop it down on top of a Zukov. They blew up the lift hawk, but it crashed and missed the Zukov. And the Harbinger went over here and tried to bomb the building, which missed.
And also the Zukov took a shot right at the start of the turn to try to hit that Harbinger and drop it on the Ravagers, and also missed. All right, activated my infantry group. Just moved the lift hawk back here with the last Jackson that has infantry in it. Put the Jackson behind the building, took the infantry out.
So I activated my warriors. They basically shot down, killed some trucks, and the rest,
3 technicals, yep.
and I deposited 3 guys into this building.
He also found a regular intel in that building.
Oh, yeah,
so
so
it's
I got
flipped
one
over.
more.
So he's up to 4. All right, activated my gun wagons. They moved over here. 2 of them could see the Harbinger, so they shot it, did 1 damage, and the Kraken came around behind him.
I activated my infantry group. My warriors, obviously they can't move because they're trying to kill bikes. And the little transport shot the building and did 2 damage.
All right, so I activated my scout group. It was my free riders over here against his warriors. Had a pretty rough fight. I lost all but 1 free rider. Managed to kill 4 warriors. He passed his fortitude check. I rolled the intel. It was a regular old intel, so I just got one victory point, and then I played tactical withdrawal. Got out of the building with my 1 remaining free rider. And my berserkers, they were here, so they rolled the intel. They actually found a focal point there, so that's now a focal point. And they moved on the monorail over into that building. And the buses
one more, yeah.
Moved up here. And finally, I have my Zukov. It moved up 3 inches, rotated, and fired its gun at that building over there. Did 2 damage and no falling masonry. All right, start of turn 4. I really wanted to win initiative this turn so I could try to blow up that building or something, but Gary won again. I played supercharged, so all my technicals and wagons got movement bonuses. So it's that squad of 2 got +3, and the squad of 9 got +4, which means they're going to burn out on turn 5 and they won't be able to move. And the wagons got +3. And that's it.
All right, I activated my command. I used the Annihilator first to wipe out a whole bunch of technicals.
Killed like 5, I think.
They knocked out 5, and then the commander moved over, killed 1, and then shot a whole bunch of times here, and just decided to shoot the rubble. Miss.
Yeah, so the rubble's an inch high, the stalker's in the way, so he actually had hull down, which is amazing on a Thunderstorm custom.
Well, yeah, inch high is what's giving it to you.
Yeah, and so he needed, and a skimmer rule too, so he needed 5s to hit, and didn't get a single 5 on all 5 shots. Pretty
Oh, but
rough.
I did play a aggression. Or a reroll here to get you.
Right. Yeah. So he originally rolled a 1 to hit with his blast, and then played what is it called? Assisted targeting.
Yeah,
and then got to re-roll it, which sucked. All right. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, and the vampires moved over here. All right. I created my command group. This guy backed up, spun around, and moved over here 6 inches. Fired all 4 of its guns at that building. Blew it up, killed all 4 infantry bases, and also killed the invader that was sitting outside. So.
All right, I played Secret Entrance. My warriors went from this building into this building because there's still an intel piece in there. And over here, my Marauder came over here and took a plasma hose to the bikes, but of course, evasion 3.
We evaded it.
And that was it.
All right, activated my Leviathan over here. The technicals all had supercharged. They moved really far. They shot backwards at the stalker that was here and killed it. And then the Leviathan squeezed through the gap between the buildings here and blew up the Harbinger.
All right, activated what's left of my heavy, or my...
Your armor group, right?
Yep, my armor group. They basically all lined up to shoot here. They had 13 shots, all missed. He also attacked the building, close combat, and he dropped his bomb on it and shot the AA down at it. Nothing died except for 2 berserkers.
4 damage to the building. Oh, and I also used an IED on one of his Ravagers, and it didn't kill it. All right, did my scout group. Free Riders just moved over here, 16 inches down there. The Berserkers rolled that, found a bomb, so they took 1 damage on that stand, and then I still get the intel point as per how the mission works. Monorailed back over here, and the buses just stayed put, so that's it.
Like, yeah, you know, I make this great. I'm like, how much?
Single intruder flew in, took a shot, hit but did not damage.
All right, activated the gun wagons. They blew up 2 vampires. The other one shot at the Harbinger, didn't hurt it. It got back in the wagon because they can do that, and then or the hovercraft, and did 5 inches.
Had a random Harbinger left, drove it over there.
Activated my infantry. The intel is just regular old intel, so flipped it over. Got them into the Jackson, got them into Lift Hawk. Lift Hawk moved over here, so they can't small arms them out the window. That's pretty much it. All right, moved the Zukov up over here. Rolled here to shoot this Harbinger, and I actually got a 5 up to damage, so I killed it outright. Started turn 5. Gary won the initiative roll-off for the 5th turn in a row, and nobody played any cards.
I activated my command. My oppressor took a couple shots. Didn't do anything.
No, I did 2 damage.
I did 2 damage.
Yeah.
Sorry. The Annihilator hit it with its new Devastator round.
Yeah, the new thing in the new FAQ
Did 4
update.
points of damage to it.
Yeah, rough.
Really hard to miss something that big.
Yeah, because it's so big, even if you scatter, you're still gonna.
Yeah,
so
hit it
my
pretty
commander's now down to 2. Kind of worrisome. All right, activated my Zukov, moved 3 inches over here, blew up another Harbinger. 1 shot at it right there.
Ravagers activated, shot the building, and killed some berserkers.
Killed like 4 berserkers. Did
Killed the base.
5 damage, 6 damage to the building. All right, activated my commander. Really wanted to get out of range of his Annihilator so he doesn't die. So I decided to move the full 10, so I'm over here.
My infantry found 1 point, jumped out.
And your Marauder.
Marauder came over here and plasma hose over there and did nothing.
All right, so we are actually going to call it. We're holding up some people, need to get to dinner, and Gary has gone ahead and conceded. So we'll just talk through the mission here. These green dice represent victory points from Intel. So I would have had 4. He has 5 in the bank, you can see there. I would have been able to unload my infantry here, get this Intel. Very small chance it would have turned into a focal point, which would have been kind of interesting. But most likely that's another Intel. We can even roll it here. Look, regular Intel. Okay, so I would have had 5, so it's 5 to 5. Then you have the focal points. He potentially could have contested because he has an invader, and that stalker could have gotten within 6, so he could have gotten 2 more by contesting both of them. He'd be up to 7. But he probably doesn't have the killing power at this point to kill all the berserkers and the gun wagons coming in. And he could kill the commander, but even then I'm probably still going to win the focal points. So that would give me 4 more, so it would be about 9 to 7 is what we're guessing. So we're just going ahead and calling it. So I don't know, what'd you think of the game?
Dynamic, crazy game in the center.
Yeah, turn 3 was insane. We
turn 3 in the
can't
beginning
believe
of
how
4
many.
was pretty much 90% of the game, but I think that the one thing that really turned the game for you was
That
your tactical withdrawal.
Tactical withdrawal
in the
right
little
there.
building.
Yeah.
And that changed the whole dynamics of the second half of the game. So I think that's pretty much really. And I didn't draw my espionage until the round after you were out.
Yeah. And I never drew my espionage, so you just did what you wanted to me.
So yeah, and it was pretty much. I mean, really, that was the turning point, I think.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. What'd you think of the mission, this variation on Recon? I was a huge fan. I really liked the focal points.
I really liked it. I think PHR would have struggled the same way that I struggled with this, because I'm really a non-mobile Scourge.
Yep.
Because of the way the focal points ended up, by chance they ended up
both on this side.
On the side that you were strongest, where I was strongest on this side.
Yeah.
So
I mean, do you think
my
that's...
whole plan was to go this way.
Yeah.
Not go that way. So it was...
I mean, do you think that sort of chance is enough to, justify some sort of change in the mission design, or do you think it...
This is chance.
Okay, fair enough.
It was a fair mission, so it was... I like it better, I think, than the regular Intel.
What'd you think of the all-Walker Scourge list?
I've played it before. Never with the oppressor though.
Okay.
I actually think it's stronger without my oppressor.
Oh, so you take a Desolator on it?
No, I throw more.
Well, what commander would you use if you didn't have an oppressor? And you
Desolator.
didn't... Okay, right, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit stronger, primarily because instead of dropping 6 guys into your mix, I drop 9.
Yep. So more targets.
More targets and a lot more firepower.
Yep.
Not that they're meant to take on those guys anyhow. They do really well against PHR and Sheltari.
The Annihilator, at least with the way you deployed, was really good. You put it in a strong position. You had units shielding it from all directions, so it was very difficult for me to get into your backfield and actually hurt it. I didn't even try, and it just crushed me the whole game. Just like shot after shot was doing a lot of damage. I got really lucky with the Zukovs on turn 2, but other than that...
Yeah. No, I really think that your Zukovs were on fire.
The Zukov, the one, yeah.
The one Zukov was on fire, and I knew that they would be, just because they were going to a very forward position early on. So.
Yeah.
And once they were in that position, you've got to hit them. But I was busy and stuck fighting in a different direction.
Right, yeah.
And they needed my Annihilator to help them over there.
I probably could have even dropped the Zukovs off on turn 1. I didn't, mainly because it's really tough to fit them in the big open area, because the big open area is also where the hovercraft needs to drive. Because in a boulder like this, there's really only 2 places that my giant hovercrafts can come in.
Yes.
And if I plop the Zukovs right down in the middle, then I've just blocked myself out. So that's why I came up the side here. But I wonder if there would have been a way to put them over on the edge or something and still get them down on turn 1 for an extra round of shooting. But yeah, no, I was very pleased with the Zukovs.
I never find round 1 shooting, even with the Zukovs, to be
that useful.
It's more limiting if your opponent is really trying to come that direction.
Yeah.
But other than that, people avoid them.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I would have been doing.
If you'd seen them down.
If I have to, yeah.
Okay.
So it's just, you avoid the Zukovs, and you, unless you need them to fire. Like the one time, flying one out, I flew something out here that you shot at, and you knocked out a Marauder with the Zukov. And then, no, you knocked out something else.
One of the
Harbingers,
yeah.
And then I took my Marauder across this open alley that I was so afraid to go through.
Yeah.
Because you had a Zukov lined up on it.
Right, yeah.
And a Marauder's toast against a Zukov.
Yeah.
So you had that lined up really well, and that's why that forward position was strong. So,
yeah, no, I had a fun game.
This, I would have liked to have seen be out more AA coverage.
Yeah, I didn't really have anywhere to drive it.
Yeah.
I'd love to have driven it right about here, like right through there, but the buildings were in the way, so kind of limited for where I could put it. So I had to put it way off to the side. But I really liked this variation of the mission. I think it just takes a little bit of the randomness out, and then also gives you more of a late game to play for, because sometimes in Recon, by about turn 4 or 5, you kind of know how it's going to play out.
Someone already has 9 points.
Someone already has a bunch of points. You can't get to any more. But with the focal points, there's probably a couple focal points that are going to pop up sometime during the mission. So that gives you something to fight over in the late game, which I think
should be 2.5 at this point level.
Yep. And we got 2. So yeah, pretty average.
So we were right on average.
Should be about right.
I was really hoping for 1 back here.
Yeah, would have.
Right by my Annihilator.
Yeah, that would have been
really
perfect.
Nice. If I had one to counter you, it would have been really nice.
Yeah.
So.
Well, anyway, thanks for the game. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we can play again tomorrow.
We'll have plenty of time.